Here's one of the reasons I believe that you all came today. It's not just that you face a presidential election, and that's interesting. And it's not just that one of the two candidates this time around is very unusual. We haven't really seen anyone with just the profile, no government experience whatsoever, including military experience. That's true of Trump, and it hasn't ever been true of any elected president. And the only nominee who ever came close in all of American history was Wendell Willkie, who hadn't actually done public service before. So that's just sort of a political science way of saying this is an interesting election, that you have a candidate who is very distinctive in that way. But it's not just that. It's that all four of the major branches of federal power are up for grabs. We're on a knife's edge. The House, the Senate, the judiciary, the presidency are all up for grabs. And come January, you could have President Donald Trump. And if he wins, because there's very little ticket splitting, I think he carries the Senate. And if he carries the Senate, he also carries the Supreme Court, which is now poised between 4 Republican appointees and 4 Democrat appointees. But if he wins the presidency and the Senate, he fills that vacant seat created by Justice Scalia's demise, and therefore he wins the judiciary. And actually, it's almost impossible from a political science perspective to imagine that he wins the presidency and the Senate and doesn't carry the House of Representatives with him. That's one possible world. And another possible world is that Hillary Clinton becomes president. And she is not certain to carry the Senate, but likely to for similar reasons. She therefore gets the Supreme Court. I'm not sure she carries the House of Representatives. She'd have to win by 5 or 6 points nationally probably for that to happen, and we could talk about why that's so if you're interested. But it's possible for all 4 to be Democrat-controlled in January, come January, or Republican-controlled. They're all up for grabs. That doesn't usually happen. Indeed, as I cast my mind back, I basically think you have to go back to Abraham Lincoln in 1864, when all 4 of the branches, House, Senate, Judiciary, and the presidency, were up for grabs, in play. Our current two-party system goes back to 1860, really. In 1860, even if Lincoln wins, he's never going to control the Supreme Court because it's dominated by previous Democrat presidential appointees. So, but by 1864, the court's in play, the House is in play, the Senate's in play. It matters whether you vote for Lincoln or McClellan, who runs against him. McClellan is this narcissist businessman type. He's from New Jersey, although he doesn't own any casinos. And that matters, that election, because everything's in play. But after Lincoln wins, and on my way over, by the way, I walked over and I passed that amazing equestrian statue of William Tecumseh Sherman. He wins because Atlanta falls. But when he wins, his party keeps winning, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, and so on. And eventually, the Republicans dominate the court. The rare Democrats who win in the ensuing era, they have no chance of actually dominating the court. Grover Cleveland, who doesn't even win consecutive terms, Woodrow Wilson. No Democrat wins a majority after Lincoln until FDR. And this has been the dominant political party before Lincoln. That's how large Lincoln looms in our story. So nothing, the Supreme Court's not in play. It's not in play for FDR in 1932. It's dominated by Republicans. He's not going to be able to turn it, but he keeps winning, and eventually it's in play. But by that time, his party overwhelmingly controls the Congress. And so that's really not in play, and it really doesn't come back in play until the Gingrich Revolution of 1994. And so here I end. This is a particularly interesting election because everything is up for grabs. It's on a knife edge. And we, the people of the United States, are once again called upon for our input, just as we were in 1787-88. And in my view, we can't discharge that duty. You don't just have a right to vote. In my view, you have a responsibility to vote. And you don't just have freedom of speech. You have a responsibility to listen, and even to listen to folks on the other side. You see, and you can't do any of that. We can't, this Constitution dies unless actually every generation reintroduces itself to the thing.